Alright, these are going to be kind of all over the place. I don't really have anything planned. I just want to sit here for a bit and try to relax, whether I vent or reminisce, whatever, I don't know. Just sort of a stream of consciousness. But I've been playing, uh, the Hitman games over again. I started with Codename 47, and then I, I wouldn't really say I played them through like an actual, like, start to finish thing, but I started fucking with Silent Assassin and Contracts, and those are my favorite ones of the series. And I've been watching, speed runs and the stupid analyses where they don't really say anything new or interesting. They just repeat whatever Wikipedia or the cutting room floor said. But whatever, it's just something to listen to. And some of these videos are pretty fucking long. But, I love how inverted everything is. So when I was, for years doing multiple 2.5, 3.5 hour videos every single day, it didn't matter. But now that, I'm limited to 15 minutes, now all of a sudden these long format videos are what's popular. And of course, they're all fucking robbing fictional currency off it. Fucking everything in this motherfucking world is just, I don't know. I'm so fucking sick of technology. And like, I've been watching some Terry Davis videos, and I left a few comments on some re-uploads of his shit. I was pretty much saying that. Like, I wish I took programming more seriously years and years ago. Because there's lots of different bullshit that I'm, an expert in. And, I mean, everything I'm self-taught on. But programming was one of those things that, I mean, maybe I could have been all right at it, but it's just something that I never put much effort or time into. Now I sort of wish I had done that. But every time I get this technology shit fucking with me, I start to think about him and, his operating system. And, for an end user, the type of chuckle fuck that has to be protected from themselves, ring zero and like, direct memory, fucking access or, whatever the fuck, not doing virtual memory or whatever. Like shit like that is like a disaster waiting to happen. So for like a power user, it's an ideal environment. Although, I'm not a programmer like that. Not even as a hobby. Programming is one of those things, sort of like a lot of other shit. Like I would learn it to the extent that I needed to accomplish something. I mean, most of what I do is with scripting languages or shit like that. But it's more, like video editing and different shit. But I just, I wish there was an operating system kind of more like that. Like pretty much that, but, otherwise a full-fledged operating system, like to the extent of, internet access and all that. Because I get sick of everything, like being designed on purpose to get in my fucking way. And I just had an experience, you know, an hour ago. So I was searching through my stuff. So because I've been playing Codename 47, Silent Assassin, and Contracts, a lot of these older games, they're based on, like portal sector type rendering. They're not BSP like a lot of Quake engine shit. Um, but like a lot of those games are like Painkiller, like I've mentioned a lot in the past. They would model everything in like 3ds Max, bake lighting into textures, and like their engine is sort of just a way of, somewhere to put shit they made in 3ds Max. Well, I mean, I've used 3ds Max and shit like that a lot in the past. Well, I've fucked with it, not nearly as much as Hammer Editor or something like that. But I have still downloads from years and years ago of 3ds Max. Now, I think I might have used to have a 2012 version, but the one that I knew I had was from 2009. I knew I had a version, but it was before 2012, but now I know it's from like 2009. Well, I was actually seriously considering trying to install it just to be able to fuck with it. And maybe try to import some stuff because I was looking, trying to find different ways to modify the Hitman games, particularly Codename 47. Because like a lot of motherfuckers, it pissed me off when plutonium runs loose, where you have to fuck with the guard gates, right? The problem is if you go to the other end of the docks, where there's those, the trailers that have, one of them's got like weapons and like the car bomb. I would try to go there because it's way easier if you can just, have Boris die from the car bomb instead of having to get to him before he, escapes. The problem though is that guards will go through the gates and you can, tag along with them up to that point, but it seems like as soon as you get through that final gate to the other end of the docks where all that shit is, the routines change and now they'd stop going through the gates, or the way that you would have to, like, it seems to be like you pretty much at that point have to like kill the guards at gates because they seem to just stop going through like that. It's like they want to fuck you over and like punish you for trying to get to the car bomb, I guess. So I was like, this is bullshit, and I wanted to see if there was ways to modify it, and I actually found a program called C47 Edit, I think it is, and I can load the level up and modify the geometry. So like I started making gaps in the gate so I could just walk through. Well, I never actually saved it because, well, first of all, so the gate pieces. So I installed this mod to basically I can make the draw distance infinite in Codename 47, and now I see why you don't have that as an option by default. Because it's kind of crazy to think a quarter century after the game was released, a high end gaming PC. Like, dude, I've got an 8 gig, RTX 4070. Um, and is what is it, like i13, I don't, whatever, like kind of, high end CPU. And yet that level on max, or especially the jungle levels in Codename 47, will slow it to a fucking crawl, right? It's like they very clearly did not optimize, and I sort of proved that to myself in the editor. And something I found out was that I couldn't. It wasn't as simple as just like deleting one of the gate pieces, because however they designed the map, they designed it in chunks, such that a lot of those gate pieces actually have part of the ground, like as part of their model. And so if I would try to delete them, it would also delete the floor that's, the ground that's supposed to be there. So then wouldn't be able to go through either. Whatever. I rotated one of them so I could still have the ground polygons there. I didn't bother saving it though or trying to run it, because another problem I was having is every single NPC in the level is at the world origin, like 000 or whatever, um, with few rare exceptions. And I'm not sure why that's happening, but if I look up screenshots, I don't see it happen to anybody else's shit. I don't know. It's a fucking mess, but I don't know. Those old school Portal and Sector type of renderers, where they did everything in a modeling program and the editor pretty much exists to just kind of staple it all together, kind of got me in the mood to fuck with that some more. Well, I have everything of mine on backup drives, and some of them failed in a recoverable way several years ago, to the extent that I could still back that up to a different drive, right? So what I really run right now is more like the backups of the backups. Okay, well, the problem is, for years and years now, I've had this weird thing where I can't like find certain files that I fucking swear I know exactly what the name was or where it should have been, and it's like it's just not there. And I had this weird feeling that like it was data corruption or something. I was basically losing files somehow. Well, I basically had that proven to me because when I was looking for that version of 3ds Max I had a download of, um, I opened the folder for it, and one of the first things I decided to check was if it had a crack with it, because I didn't remember. Some stuff you can find, like pre-cracked or whatever. Well, I went to the main folder of it because I opened the folder from the executable name, and I noticed the folder called keygen, and inside that there was two different folders for 32 and 64. Well, I went into the 32-bit folder and there wasn't anything there. And I thought that was kind of odd, but I was like, okay, well, maybe it was just like, maybe I only download, like I used to, like torrents in the past, I'd only download certain things. Maybe I only downloaded the 64 one. Well, I went into the 64-bit folder and the file was there for it. Well, then comes the critical part. So in the file searching software that I use for everything, it works so well, I decided to search for the word keygen, like specifically. I didn't find a whole lot relevant, but the file name for the 3ds Max, it wasn't keygen in the name. It was like kg something something kg.exe. That was the end of the file name. So after I looked for keygens just in general, I decided to, I want to go back to that to reopen it up. But when I put in, kg.exe, it didn't show up. I tried using asterisks, as wildcards, didn't show up. So then I went back to the original folder and went into the keygen folder, and now 32 and 64 weren't there. And what I thought was interesting was that at a point of navigating those folders, I don't remember 32 saying anything, but on the 64, I saw it there, but then I like went away and came back, and then all of a sudden it said something like wait a moment or something like that in the file folder. It's like, I don't know, like wait a minute or whatever the fuck it said. And then whenever I closed, I was like, all right, whatever, because sometimes stuff will just take a minute to load because the drive's not that good. Well, I had closed it out, and when I came back to it, all of a sudden it wasn't there anymore. So now I'm like, well, what the fuck? So the only thing I could think is either the drive's bad, my search software is fucking shit up somehow. But then I had the other thought, I wouldn't be surprised if these modern versions of Windows, they're, because like it will not let you disable the built-in Windows Defender anymore. Like on Windows 7, I could do it real easy. I wouldn't be surprised if it is designed to detect stuff like that, and then under the guise of being potentially malicious, delete it off your shit. And if I look at the date modified, it came from a torrent, and it literally said date modified was like 2016 or 2017. So something I've had for like literally 10 years is now just gone forever, for all I know. Because if I tried hooking up the original backup, which I'm trying not to have to rely on, um, who knows if it's even on there anymore? Who knows if that drive even fucking works, right? And it's like at some point I was going to try to get new drives to like re-back up, but at this point it's like, you know, so I could just have the information, this world just wants to destroy everything of mine, rob everything of mine, right? And I get so fucking beyond sick of this shit. And I don't know, Terry Davis, I could have a lot to say about him, but, at least he, if you want, you can talk shit if you want, but at least he understood, that computers and computer software should facilitate the user, not get in their fucking way. And it's like these humans didn't have their fucking prison reality bad enough. And on top of that, you want to get in my fucking way in this software. And dude, even these video games, like these video games could be literally anything, and even they will artificially restrict you. They'll just prevent you from doing stuff that the way you want to do it. Yeah, like God forbid I have fun in a fucking video game, right? I just get disgusted with everything. But whatever, I'm at 15 minutes on this one, so I'll end it here.